All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Darrel Long channel, hosted by your boy Darrel Long. What is going on, folks? What is going on? Hope y'all having a good day today, man. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody's having a good day. The weekend is about to begin, but um, I want to go ahead and begin with this topic. All right. Hopefully, y'all can't hear my TV in the background because I did lose one of my remotes recently, but it is what it is. Shout out to y'all for tapping in. Shout out to first of all, shout out to Queen Sheba in the Palace for just giving me some uplifting energy recently. Much needed energy, much needed positivity, much needed faith. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big thing in my life, faith. You know what I mean? And how much faith someone puts into you, to me, determines how much they want to see you succeed as well. You know what I mean? So shout out to Queen Sheba and the Palace for having faith in me when I did not have any faith in myself. Okay. So I want to go directly into this video, and also any videos that I have scheduled, I'm just going to go ahead and knock those videos out. All right. Because I'm tired of looking at them sitting inside of my YouTube studio or inside of my StreamYard studio. And I just want to be able to get it all knocked out immediately. All right. So there will be a lot of different content here. If you are here from the Palace, be warned, this is not the Palace. Okay. I am not Queen Sheba. Queen Sheba do a far better job of keeping her demeanor, right, intact. Mine's is not. I will jump out of my body if I need to. And this topic with Nolan Wells is something that's continuously driving me crazy, to be perfectly honest, because we're talking about like dead Black children. And for somebody like Officer Tatum, he's caught my attention. He has earned my attention at this point with his level of raccooning, right? With his level of defending and covering these white boys who may potentially be murderers, who may potentially be the culprits of a murder that, truthfully, it seems like Mississippi don't give a damn about, if I'm being honest. Recently, we learned that the damn police in Mississippi didn't even search the boat that Nolan allegedly was on. But I didn't come here for that. Two things came to my timeline recently. D.L. Hughley got into a big fight with Brandon Tatum, also known as Officer Tatum. Okay, right? And it was very messy. Do I have those videos from the timeline where he was going off on him saying, "Hey, bro, you were nothing else but a is it right here?" It was like, "Oh, bro, you was nothing but an ex-cop. You got a white wife. The people don't support you. Woo, woo, woo." It was diabolical. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I know I can find it on I can find this particular video on Willie D channel. Like, if I really need to go find it, I know I can go find it on Willie D YouTube channel. And I probably will go and find it because it was lit. It was lit. It was petty, but it was lit. All right. He took it off his Instagram, probably because of monetization reasons. I'll go back to that other video in just a second. This video, I'm going to go ahead and react to now. And let me say this too. If D.L. Hughley is ever watching this, and D.L. Hughley ever wants to, stop by and just bless Simp Nation, I would definitely appreciate it. All right. I'm just gonna put that out there. You know what I'm saying? You never know who is listening. You never know what God is working on. But let me go ahead and tag DL Hughley. And if he ever wants to come on the show, I will welcome that. I will welcome him to Simp Nation, and we definitely can talk about how Officer Tatum is trash together. But anyway, let's get to the video.
Board.
I'm telling you, I would trade Miss Rachel and Nancy Grace for Brandon Tatum and Stephen A. Smith today.
Trade.
And speaking of Brandon Tatum, this dude is always, why don't you debate me? Who told this feeble-minded imp that he was bright? Now, I ain't no wordsmith, but this dude mangles words. Did you see when he was talking to Nancy Grace, he told her, I don't know the ideology. No, that's not, it's me with methodology, dickhead. This whole dude's premise is that I was a cop and I was on the street. You were on the streets of Tucson. Yes. The stanking streets of Tucson. You know, when he left, you know what Tucson is a city. It's a growing city, obviously. It has 500,000 people. You know what percentage of black people Tucson had? 3.6%. So that's roughly 19,000 people. And out of those 18 now.
Hey, what's up, Carolina? Yes, I'm reading chats. What's going on, everybody on Twitch? I see y'all over there on Twitch. I am reading chats. If anybody want to join in, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys send a donation, Cash App, $DLon316. We are monetized over here on YouTube, and we are monetized over on Twitch as well. So make sure you guys tap in. Let's get back to dragging this bandit known as Officer Tatum. And good morning, Lady Monique. If you're here from the palace, I love you guys. I love you. Let's go.
19,000 people. About half of them are probably women, right?
Right.
Some of them are children and old people, right? So you might be down to 2,000 or 3,000 people. And those 2,000 or 3,000 people that you police gave you this insight, and now you know how to make police stops. Clown. You had more black people in your house than you stopped.
Wow.
But he plays this thing, and what he does, he plays the thing like he has such experiences. And that's why he's always, like, even with the Sandra Massey thing, real policemen, people were really, like, I don't know, I'm sure that urban policing has a challenge in any city, but he plays it like he was in Harlem and Compton, like he was in Memphis.
For 20 years.
You in Tucson.
Yeah. Tucson.
If you pull niggas over there, the same two people.
It's always the same thing with you. I'm that guy.
But he has this thing, this whole affect, and the way he calls himself officer. You were officer for 6 years, a community relations dude, and now you talk as if you stop people.
Yeah. And when did you become a detective? And where did you get the experience for that?
You and you're a shitty influencer too. But this dude, you won't debate me. He went on what was that?
Jubilee.
The
Jubilee.
Everybody whipped his ass.
Yeah, man, it was crazy.
And they were college kids, most of them.
He could do like what he is. It must be.
It's crazy that D.L. Hughley has to be the one that tell you the truth about yourself, Officer Tatum. Right, because I didn't know all of this stuff. I didn't know that you was an officer in Tucson. I didn't know that you were someone who really spent most of your life being around white women and white men. Now, I have done some research. I have done some research on you since then. Admittedly, quite extensive research on you, Brandon Tatum. Now, I told my wife I was going to go to work and go get some work done around noon. That gives about 2 hours to fully show the audience who you are. Over the next few days, I'm going to be showing you guys a young Officer Tatum, right? College age Officer Tatum, talking about his love of white women and why he prefer the white woman over the black woman.
I beg your pardon.
Officer Tatum goes on to say that most black women don't want to be wives and don't want to be submissive and don't want to be mothers.
The lies. There you go. This bitch. The lies.
So I'm going to break it down for you guys. What's up, Tasha? What's up, Mama? What's up, Caroline? She said, I create graphics for streamers and like logos, emotes, etc., etc. Hit me up, man. Hit me up on the email. Don't do business here. Hit me up. Hit me up. All right. Let's get it.
Horrible because his master's gone.
Yeah.
You know, his master's gone, so now he got to try to replicate. He's an idiot.
He is an idiot.
Who told this feeble-minded imp that he was a mental giant?
I never seen nobody get on that 20v1 and get their ass whooped by all
By
20.
everybody.
By everybody.
It was a janitor that asked him questions.
Yeah. He said, let me put this mop down.
And
Did
put my
you
foot
read
in this
the
dude's
book?
ass. You know, and it's a whole gimmicky thing. The thing that was out of all the things that he said that I found the most insulting, this is what he said about the Tulsa race riot.
Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots? Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of black people in Tulsa.
Now,
Excuse me? Excuse me?
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
The lies. There you go. This bitch.
The
I'm
lies.
telling you.
Yeah, I know what happened in Tulsa. White people and black people were fighting, and then white people got the best of black people, and that's how it happened. That's all that happened. It was a race war. Let's hear this one more time so I can break down the lies.
the thing that was out of all the things that he said that I found the most insulting, this is what he said about the Tulsa race riot.
Are we on the same page of what happened in the Tulsa riots? Tulsa race war?
It depends. What do you think happened?
Well, I know what happened. There was a conflict between black and white people. There was a fight between the two. White people got the best of black people in Tulsa.
Now, a lot of people, I remember Tom Hanks wrote an article and he had never heard, and this was a couple of years ago, he'd never heard of the Tulsa race riot because it's something they won't publicize. It's something they don't talk about. But you know what galls the shit out of me? That the first time many people will hear about it is through that big coon's lips, lying lips.
Right.
That you can't find anybody to give that.
I will say this, right, DL? You're right. Let me address your point first. You're absolutely right. That's a major problem. That when we talk about the Tulsa race massacre, because it wasn't a race war. A war would imply that both sides equally fought. But that's not what that is. What happened in Tulsa 1920 was a war only fought by white people. That's just what it was, right? So if you guys don't know, just to give full contextualization to that clip, you know what I'm saying? Jubilee has a format that they call Surrounded, right? They call that format Surrounded. And like 2 weeks ago, basically, Officer Tatum went on Jubilee against 20 black liberals, right? They specifically made sure that it was black, mostly black and biracial liberals and Democrats, okay? Conversations landed eventually on the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. And Officer Tatum's position was that black people played a role in causing their own destruction of Tulsa. And that's the whole ball game. That's his whole grifting talking point. But the receipts of history show something completely different. So you don't actually need to argue with somebody stupid like Officer Tatum, right? An all-white grand jury in 1921 officially blamed armed black residents and their supporters for causing the Tulsa 1921 race massacre. All-white jury. That is the origin of what he's talking about. Just to give context, because he's going to say, you know, we don't know what we're talking about, but I am somebody who is very well read, very well researched. So I am highly aware that judges on an all-white grand jury in 1921 said that black people caused the race massacre of Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right. Brandon Tatum is reciting a take that's over 105 years old that was spewing racism, right? This is a take that spews racism directly from the lips of men who wanted to see black people in shackles. That's just the truth, right? I'm here to just give y'all the truth. Nothing else, nothing, you know what I'm saying? Nothing more. Black men showed up armed. That's what he said. Well, he's not completely wrong about that. About 75 black men showed up armed to go protect a young man named Dick Rowland because Dick Rowland was about to be lynched. Okay? Dick Rowland had committed some crime. I think the crime was messing with a white woman or whistling at a white woman or looking at a white woman, something with a white woman. And the town, like the men of that town, they just wasn't having it, right? So they came to look for Dick Rowland to execute him. And Dick Rowland, you guys can look all this up. Dick Rowland was protected by 75 armed black men, right? The sheriff was called to the incident, because, hey, listen, this guy hasn't even been convicted. Why is this mob trying to lynch him? If you look up all the histories of Oklahoma, it escalated after that situation. Some historians in Tulsa say that if Dick Rowland had hanged, if he was deleted that day, if he had hanged from a tree that day, then Tulsa would have just, went on the way it was. Some people genuinely feel that way. Look at Dick Rowland. Look his name up. So when Officer Tatum is making it seem like black people were the reason why, no, they were not. They were protecting someone who really was trying to get justice. Like they were trying to get justice, not trying to protect him from the law, period, but saying that Dick Rowland deserves a fair trial, not to be lynched on a tree without being judged by, his peers, a jury of his peers. And that was, again, white men taking the law into, into themselves. Eventually, those white boys, they came back with, a reported 800 white men. 800 white men who had a mob-like, military-like mentality. Did y'all know that 35 city blocks was burnt that day and over 1,000 people were hospitalized? Right? Black people were hospitalized that day. So that is one of the biggest lies that I'm happy to see D.L. Hughley call out when it comes to Officer Brandon Tatum.
That account anywhere, but he can do it, and he lies with impunity. A debate isn't me making some lies up and you making some lies up. It is somebody saying what is true and what isn't.
Correct.
He lies for convenience, and they got into a fight, and then do you know that it was the first time in American history where citizens of this country were bombed from the sky. People got in airplanes and dropped explosives on black people. 300 black people died, and he acts as if it was a disagreement. There was almost the equivalent of $2 billion in damage. It was so destructive that they had mass.
It was very, very, very destructive, right? For those who, I remember, everybody who know me in my real life, you guys know I'm a real big, film person. I love film. I think it's one of the best mediums of art and one of the best ways of expression. I remember watching a show called The Watchmen, and I remember watching a show called what was the show called with Jonathan Majors? It was on HBO many years ago with him and the Jussie Smollett girl. Is that her name? Lovecraft Country. Both of those shows has a version of 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when you watch The Watchmen begin the entire scene with that, I'm not even sure if I can even show it in this live stream, right? I kind of want to show you guys a little bit. If you guys never watched The Watchmen, let me show you guys the first 5 minutes. This is on YouTube, so I'm hoping that I don't get striked or copyright or whatever. Let me show you guys this. For the first 5 minutes, basically you see a young boy watching a movie about a black sheriff, right? And he will go on to become a black sheriff because he wants to do the law. His mother is there playing the piano in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where, out of nowhere, the building starts to fall down around them. The father and the mother then protects the boy, and they go out into a town that is burning. Let's watch it now. And I remember I first saw this because I read about Tulsa. Never saw it on TV ever in my life. One of the craziest cinematic moments for me and, in my life was watching Regina King bring this horrific moment, to the big screen. Let's watch it together. I'm not going to show any more of the clip because I don't want to get striked, and I don't want, community guidelines to say I'm showing violent stuff. So let me go ahead and show you guys this right now. First of all, that clip was just a reaction. It was something, it was a made up scene. It was not real. Nobody was harmed in that clip. They were all actors, etc., etc. Okay. So that situation left children being harmed, young women being accosted, and for Brandon Tatum to get online and lie about that, that's just doing the black men and black women who died there a disservice. That's the facts. Let me go ahead and go back to the video and break it down from what D.O. Hughley had to say.
All over the country, all over the city. It was so destructive, that area will never come back again. And you play it as if nothing happened. And that's the thing about these kind of people. There is no lie they won't tell. It doesn't have to come from a book. It doesn't have to come from a professor. It doesn't have to come from an expert. He will, as long as it comes from a white man's lips, he believes it. And he will repeat it.
Yeah.
Well, the sad part, too, though, is how do you get to be the age that he is and you don't know anything about Tulsa?
This idiot, he knew about Tulsa.
How do you not know?
He knew about Tulsa. Remember somebody asked him.
I can answer that question genuinely, my lady. I'm going to be honest with you. So I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. I went to Central Michigan University. And so many African Americans had no idea what Tulsa was. So many African Americans had no idea what Tulsa was. Me and my wife are married. My wife is black. She grew up here in Chicago. Her children now, when you really ask them about Tulsa, they don't really know about Tulsa at all. Like, they're not being educated on the things that happen to African American people and the things that accosted black people. They're not being educated on those things in the same way. And I think as a woman, if you ever watch this with D.O. Hughley, maybe you will hear me. Men are not being educated about stuff like postpartum depression, right? There's things that women are dealing with from a scientific level, from a biological standpoint, that we're not being educated on. And I feel like it leads us to being ignorant. So Brandon Tatum, even though I believe he's willfully ignorant, I think that there's a possibility that he didn't learn about, the Tulsa riots or the Tulsa massacre the way that it really should have been taught to him. Because if I've done extensive research on Brandon Tatum. He grew up around nothing but white people. I'm just gonna call it a spade a spade. What's up, OG Patrice? He grew up around white people. I even have a video of him talking about him thinking that white women were the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, I'll get to that video. I might do it in a separate live stream. I might do it today. It all depends on how I feel.
Sir,
This idiot, he knew
how
about
do you
Tulsa.
not know?
He knew about Tulsa. Remember somebody asked him about the book.
All
of the black congressmen,
that.
it's in his book.
You said he mentioned that black people were not fit to
Yes, that
participate
is
in
the
the
whole
No, it's
thesis of
not.
Up From Slavery.
No, it's
Did
not.
you read the book?
I did not read the book.
There you go. Then you don't know
Well,
what you're talking
I
about.
know.
How the fuck you gonna go to a debate when you don't read?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the dude.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's why I haven't watched the Brandon Tatum, the Jubilee situation, because Brandon Tatum is stupid. Like me being somebody who is a scholar, and I'm not saying that I'm a educator. My wife is an educator. My wife is literally a teacher, but I am not. However, I am educated, and I am very well researched, very well well read, and very articulate. Officer Tatum is none of those things. Officer Tatum is somebody who is intellectually inferior. So when we're debating what he's talking about, it's almost like we're debating like what my newborn is talking about. He is the kind of person that would go to a debate and have a debate about the book that he never read. How can I go and talk about, for example, right? Michelle Alexander wrote the mass incarceration book, right? The mass incarceration, the new Jim Crow book, et cetera, et cetera. Imagine going to debate the merits of that book without actually reading the book, or going to debate the merits of Kamala Harris 107 without actually reading the book and having the book here, like I have my physical copy here. I think that's a big problem. And the grifters, Anton Daniels, Officer Tatum, who else can I name? I got to throw Cellulite in there. I'm sorry, but I got to. Like, there's so many of them. And maybe this in particular go to Cellulite because he is researched. I think he just choose to make the money on that side. But a lot of them are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. They are. Dave Anderson, I had a conversation with him about Donald Trump. He said there was nothing that Donald Trump ran on that he said in his campaign that he hasn't delivered on. Donald Trump said that he was not going to go to war. I can just start there. Donald Trump said he was not going to go to war. Here we are at war. We give these grifters too much attention. We give these grifters too much publicity. Officer Tatum is a fucking bomb. Officer Tatum, with all due respect to him, has a basic white wife. They didn't even give him a baddie. He got the worst deal possible. He's going to regret this worse than Candace Owen has after Charlie Kirk died. And I said what I said. Okay? Let's go.
The dude is a fucking
Idiot.
mental midget.
Yeah.
In the Battle of Wits, he comes unarmed.
Did you read the book? No, I did
did.
not read the book.
And everything he says is something. Here's the thing: no matter if Sewell says it, no matter if Candace Owens said it, or the coon du jour, whoever it is, they say exactly the same thing. They say exactly the same
But wait,
thing.
though, I got to give the one thing I will say about Candace. I'm not a fan.
No,
but
she's
she's
a very
smart.
bright woman.
She's
a very
bright.
woman.
She's
a
very
bright
well
woman.
learned.
She's
At
very
least
white.
she would have read the book and she knows about
She's
talking.
a very
I'm sorry. I love Candace too. Okay? And to be honest, she's all of those things. Which is why she's such a fucking big disappointment. Because at the end of the day, we cannot forget, and I will not forget. And I told my wife this, right? I remember when Charlie Kirk died, my wife sent me all kind of emojis celebrating. It was so despicable. I was like, what the fuck? But whatever, right? I have no love for Charlie Kirk. I love my wife. End of story, right? But I do remember when Charlie Kirk came online, because it's around the same time that I started my YouTube journey. And I remember him just escalating so fast into mainstream media to the point where he was shaking hands with Donald Trump. And beside him was a little black girl with a little ponytail at the White House. I said, who is this woman? Harpo, who's this nigga on that nag? And that nigga on the nag was Candace Owens. She was helping a very young Charlie Kirk bring in white conservatives to Donald Trump's cause, to MAGA's cause. And eventually, she, in my opinion, would be one of the major orchestrators of Black women's political demise, because was it not her that was talking against Kamala Harris, right? The same Kamala Harris that was backed up by the AKAs, the Deltas, the SG Rose, and every other Divine Nine. Black people. It was Candace Owens who was going against Black Lives Matter. Again, say what you want to say about them. They was doing more for black people than Black men are right now. That's a fact. Black Lives Matter was doing more for Black people than Officer Tatum has done in the last 20 years. That's a fact. Candace Owens was their main enemy. I don't want to go started on Barack Obama and the LGBTQIA and her comments against them. I'm just saying, Candace Owens is very intelligent, and that's why it's very disappointing to watch her team up with Charlie Kirk. He gets shot in the neck. Now she's beefing with the wife, cool with the wife, back beefing with the wife, making accusations about Charlie death. It's too much. Hey, name. What's up, love?
She's bright. She's very well learned. At least she would have read the book and she knows about
She's a very bright woman, and she lies with a straight face well enough and articulately enough that it can confuse you. This dude ain't no confusion at all. That was like the Globetrotters and the Washington Generals.
Yeah, no, this shit was crazy.
It was crazy.
Somebody should have told you, in the Battle of Wits, this dude come in unarmed. What did you think would happen? These are literal college kids. You tried to replicate Charlie Kirk. At least Charlie Kirk was bright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't read the book.
You got your ass handed to you.
Well, you would have think he would have at least Googled right? To look at a video and say, let me see what I'm up against.
Do you see, this is him on Nancy Grace.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot of technical tests. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
I didn't know.
The lies. There you go. This bitch. The lies.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Did they take a fucking polygraph or not? And I would have easily bet that they did not take a polygraph, because when I asked ChatGPT and I asked Google Gemini and I asked Claude, my favorite 3 AIs that I use, all 3 of them said that most defense attorneys do not allow their clients to take polygraph tests, because you're basically going to snitch on yourself, right? Imagine if your client has committed a murder. The defense got a solid fucking case, but you take a polygraph test. Did you have the gun, little Jerome? I didn't have the gun, Your Honor. Nope. That's a lie. Everything this nigga saying is lying. They give that to the judge now. Now we got a whole different case, don't we? They don't allow that normally. Right? But what do Tatum do? Because he's stupid. Right? He's stupid. So, like a stupid person, he just run his fucking mouth. He don't think first. If he had thought first, he would think, what is my best way to defend these white boys? Close my fucking mouth and say, I'm not sure. Right? The uncertainty leaves room for doubt. But what he does is try to shroud them in glory. Oh yeah, they took polygraph tests. They passed every single one of them. Every single one of my niggas. Warren Hudson, all my niggas that was cool with Nolan Wells, all of my niggas, they all took polygraph tests. Are you sure about that? Mr. Tatum, are you sure about that? What kind of test was it, boy? it was kind of like a polygraph test, but it wasn't a polygraph test. So the answer would be no. When I'm asking you, did them boys take a polygraph test? You dancing and hollering and scooting around this one, boy. But the answer is no. I've never seen a country woman shine so bright outside of when I'm watching Queen Sheba. All right, let's go. Let's watch this. Let's watch this again.
Let me see what I'm up against.
Do you see? This is him on Nancy Grace.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lot of technical tests. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
Did they take a polygraph would be no.
I didn't know.
I didn't know. I don't know what they took. They took other stressors to analyze the truth.
The lies. There you go. This bitch. The lies.
Oh my God, bro.
This dude is arguing for people on their word.
Right.
He didn't see it. He wasn't there. He is arguing for people, and that is what he does. He takes the lies of white dudes right out of hand. I don't care if it's in a book. I don't care if it's an expert. I don't care if it's a committee. If a white man said it to this idiot, it's true.
Right. But he doing such a bad job. Nick Fuentes was like, "Oh, nah, man, we don't need you out there doing our work."
This is what Nick Fuentes said.
Going for nigga 6 cents and sent $20. Brandon Tatum got to be one of the biggest retards with his Israel stance. The guy had nothing to refute Myron. Myron hit him with fact after fact, and he had absolutely nothing other than a disagree, and that's not true. Spoiler, it was true. Dude sold out to Israel for 5 bands in a Snickers bar. Pretty sad. Stay safe, Nick.
Thank you, man. Yeah, dude, he's a cook.
Oh shit! Did y'all read that last part? Dude sold out Israel for 5 bands in a Snickers bar. Oh my fucking God.
Pretty sad. Stay safe, Nick.
Thank you, man. Yeah, dude, he's a coon. That is a straight up coon. That's just what he is. He does it for free. He goes, I don't take money from Israel. I don't take money. Oh, you do it for free then? Wow. Wow. Good boy. Good boy. Wow.
Cue Kevin Samuels.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
So you mean to tell me even Nick Fuentes think that you not good for the cause? You never like y'all think that you can run around here and just tap dance with these white boys. They never gonna allow you in, bro. You never gonna be one of them. You always gonna be looked at, as an outsider. That's just the truth. Because you are a black man. Then you got a white wife. I'm gonna do those on separate videos, man. Listen, if y'all want to see those videos, if y'all want to see one of the videos where he's talking about his love for the white woman, just let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. I'll go ahead and pop out and show one of those today. All right, let's go.
You can't coon enough for him.
That's bad.
Right.
When a Mexican white supremacist calls you a coon,
you're like, yo, we got no use for you. You out here making us look bad. You ain't even white.
You can't coon enough.
So like
he acts as if, and you know what? Every time he's on one of these, he's loud and wrong, and so I think he's probably obviously a big guy, so he talks really loud. This Nancy Grace all but sunned him. When I was on, this is me on Megyn Kelly. I didn't let that bitch talk crazy to me.
How this happened with Michael Brown and Ferguson.
And we still don't know the facts there. We have a police officer's word and the grand jury's word.
No, we have the Department of Justice's word.
The Department of Justice shut down Ferguson. Ferguson had to be shut down because it was so corrupt.
The Department of Justice found that the police there had endemic racism. They found that.
Right.
But they also exonerated Officer Darrel Wilson.
That's not a...
And they found Hands Up, Don't Shoot was a lie.
Let me ask you something.
And that Michael Brown was the aggressor.
Wow. Here's what I'll say.
Don't wow me.
Don't tell me not to wow you. I can say wow if I want to, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. They found systemic racism, right? Mm-hmm. So it's unbelievable. They also found systemic racism, and we know that Darren Wilson left the department because it was so racist it had to be disbanded. And he went to Ferguson, another department that is rife with racism.
I'm not going to let you do that.
Right.
He was in his bag. You know what I'm saying? Talking crazy to Megyn Kelly. I don't like Megyn Kelly at all, bro. I don't see what they see in her. I don't see why she's hyped up to be some great beauty, because she's not, in my opinion. That's just me. I just don't see it. Is it true he worked for Turning Point USA? That is true. I've done the research. That is true. Officer Tatum also has a cartoon talking about how slavery really wasn't that bad. Let me show y'all some of the stuff I found on Tatum. Which way should I go? Officer Tatum with the white women. Let me go put that up real quick. Let's start with the original one. Right? And I'm going to email this over to Taz and Nyla immediately after the show is overwards. May 8th, 2017. A young Officer Tatum is still living with his mother. That's right. He don't even get the beard yet. In this video that is titled, right? Why Black Men Choose White Women Over Black Women. Okay. Officer Tatum, break it down for us.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Let's see what he got to say, black women. Officer Tatum.
I thought I'd make a video. I was thinking about this this morning when I woke up. I mean, I think about this all the time.
You was thinking about this when you woke up this morning? Let's stop right there. You was thinking about this when you woke up this morning? You was thinking about how the white woman is better than the black woman? You piece of shit, hoe ass nigga. Let's continue.
But I was thinking about it heavily this morning because a lot of people have initiated discussions with me about this. Obviously, I have my own personal thoughts and experiences with this certain subject, but it came up and it keeps coming up time and time again about why do black men date white women. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, over time, I've noticed that it is it's something that's trending more than it used to, 20 years ago or whatever, from my perspective, from my opinion, and what
due to racism, due to the white man becoming more tolerable, due to white man becoming more tolerable and allowing you to do it. I mean, this is true. But go ahead and break it down for us, Brandon.
I've seen personally. And what I like to say about it is that it has more to do with culture than it does race. Okay, and I can say some of these things because I have personal firsthand experience. And I'll start with just a little background about me. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, predominantly all African-American community for most of my life. In the African-American communities, there's certain things that you do and you do not do.
Excuse me? Hold on, go back for a second.
For lack of a better term, firsthand, okay? And I can say some of these things because I have personal firsthand experience. And I'll start with just a little background about me. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas.
Interesting. Sorry, taking notes, guys. Sorry, keep going.
Predominantly all African-American community for most of my life. In the African-American communities, there's certain things that you do and you do not do. for lack of a better terms, certain things you do, you lose your race card, you lose your black card.
Oh my God. Tasha says this is so cringy. OG Patrice look like she's pissed the fuck off. Tasha says, here we go. So for those who are just catching in and just tapping in like Keon and No Chaser, we're watching a video of Officer Tatum from May 8th, 2017. This video has 1.4 million views, and the video is titled "Why Black Men Choose the White Woman Over the Black a Woman's Child." This nigga been tap dancing for over 10 years. This nigga's done fall in love with the white coochie. The white coochie that I guarantee you more than likely everybody done fucking fucked on. I'm sorry, I gotta be honest. I have a prevailing theory that nobody gives up coochie more than the white woman. Nobody is the biggest 304s than the white woman. Nobody's swallowing a whole arm worth of dick like the white woman. Nobody. But if somebody wants to debate me on that, then we can go into the facts first, like looking at sex culture, porn, Playboy, OnlyFans. We can, we have things that we can measure, and we can measure them by race and see which demographic of women has the most roles to play in those industries, right? But let's go.
And I hate to say it, but it's reality. We got to be transparent and honest. It's reality. So growing up, my sense of reality in relationships was based on what I saw predominantly, what I saw in my own personal life as far as my parental relationships and different things like that. So I can say this, and I'm not saying this is static and this is consistent with every single African-American person on planet Earth. It's not. I'm not saying that. It's my own personal experiences with what I saw. Every black woman, and growing up from the age, from when I was born to from when I started dating to when I turned like 22, I had never dated a woman who wasn't African American. Never dated outside my race. And a lot of it was because that's a lot of what I was exposed to in our black community. And also it was stigmatized. You date anything outside of black, you will sell out, so on and so forth. So anyway, but I have to say every single African-American female that I dated either didn't know their dad or didn't have a good relationship with their dad.
Damn.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Now, I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. I grew up out there in Fort Worth, Texas. Let me tell you something, boy. 99% of the black woman that I met out there, boy, they don't know their father, boy. They don't know their pappy. They never knew their pappy. And if they do know their pappy, they don't got a good relationship with their pappy. Which means they wasn't taught how to be a wife. They wasn't taught how to be submissive. Y'all know what's coming. Y'all know what's coming. Fort Worth, Texas is a military base. Oh, I know. I know. But this is also it's a city also. We're going to break down his background. We got, you guys know me enough to know how I get down. I'm just being real smooth right now. Okay, I'm trying to go corporate. Let's hear it again. Most black women don't know their fathers. According to Officer Tatum, the raccoon, okay? We must expose these individuals, call out their lies, give them the fucking attention that they desire, just not in the form that they desire it. Okay? We're going to fuck him today.
From the age, from when I was born to from when I started dating to when I turned like 22, I had never dated a woman who wasn't African American. Never dated outside my race. And a lot of it was because that's a lot of what I was exposed to in our Black community. And also it was stigmatized. You date anything outside of Black.
Uh-oh, we got some contestants in the chat. OG Patrice said he's a lie and the truth ain't in him. Well, you're welcome to come up as a Black woman and debate him. Is it because their dad saw straight through your fake ass? Child.
Wow.
It seems that is a possibility. Now, I don't agree with Tatum at all. I would actually love to debate Tatum on this. I think that white women are the nastiest, freakiest, skankiest, most deplorable women on the planet. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, we literally have a woman right now in the White House who used to be on Playboy. I mean, child.
Shut up, silly woman.
That's his wife. He can say whatever he want to say about Michelle Obama. Your wife used to be on Playboy, busting it wide open with her foreign ass. Child. Look at this goofy ass Nick. You
will sell out, so on and so forth. So anyway, but I have to say, every single African-American female that I dated either didn't know their dad or didn't have a good relationship with their dad. Was in a single parent home or was in a remarried situation where either dad didn't know dad or dad wasn't involved, or he was, like a secondary parent. And with that comes issues, insecurities, and other things like that. Hands down, no matter.
So, Officer Tatum, you're trying to tell me that every single Black woman that you came across in Texas was raised by a single father, and the ones who knew their father, every single one of them had a bad relationship with their father. They were also raised in a single parent household. One by one, I will break every single one of you. Every single one of you, I'm tired of saying raccoons. Fuck it. All of you coons will be broken one by one, like I did Anton years ago. But I broke his spirit, didn't break his account. I'm not really trying to see Anton go broke. I just want to break his spirit. And I want to break your spirit too. I want you to know that you're wrong. I want you to know that you're a coward. I want your followers to know that you're a liar, like we did Donovan Sharp when he married the 50-year-old white woman after telling Black men that a woman beyond 30 had to hit the wall. I follow Tatum and watch his videos. Block this person. Go. But knock before you come back. I have a lot of objections. No, you don't. You getting blocked. You can't be in the chat. You can't be in the chat. Anybody who is a part of Officer Tatum clan, you can only hit the link. If you want to debate, you can debate, but you can't just be here spewing your bullshit in the chat. What's up, JD? We don't allow fuckery here.
No matter what race you involved in, those circumstances and situations are counterproductive to a healthy, conducive life in its totality. I'm not saying that you can't be healthy with those circumstances. It's just better if you have a streamlined representation of the way the family structure should be. So I have to say, but that was normal to me. My parents aren't together. Although my dad has been in my life the whole time, both my parents are very active, but they weren't together. So
hold the fuck on. So you're saying that you need white women to have the representation of what a real family should look like. Meanwhile, your father wasn't in your life, but he was in your life the whole time. I'm confused. You see how they try to make their parents and their situation seem different? Was your father a good man or not? Because it's sounding like he fucked your mother on a military base and kept on doing his duty to the country, but not to you. And that's why you have this fucking hatred towards your own people. And I do have a video of him and his wife. I'm not sure how far y'all want to take this today, Sim Nation. But no chaser. I tell you this, no chaser. If you throw me a 25 to 50, whatever, look, y'all can crowdfund it. If we can get to $50, that's all I'm asking. 50 measly dollars. I will show y'all the video of Officer Tatum and his white wife talking about the black woman. That's right. That's right.
Damn!
Hey, I offer that to y'all. Y'all let me know. Anybody can come up. I dropped the link in the chat. Let's go.
Growing up, that's what I thought was normal. Fast forward that to when I went to college. Now, going to college opened my eyes to a lot of things because, to be quite honest, when you look at the demographic of most major universities, you're going to see that there is an overwhelming number of white people in comparison to where I grew up at, where you never saw white people unless they were a teacher at your school or they the police. And going to college is a huge culture shock because you are now the minority. Now, everything in life is not Afrocentric. It's not from an African-American perspective. And you have to now figure out how that applies to your life. So long story short, I got to college and a lot of myths start being unveiled because growing up, you don't date white women. You bring a white woman home or you date a white woman. And I'm not saying this is my parents. This is society. This is peers. You date a white woman, you're a sellout, you get clowned, they talk bad about you, every name in the book. You want to be white, whatever the case may be. So
So that's not actually true. We don't actually care if you're dating a white woman or not. Like, let's just start there. I don't think black women are running around saying, oh yeah, if you date a white woman, automatically you're a sellout. No, what happens is you begin dating a white woman and then you begin to falsely represent her value and falsely represent black women's value, right? For example, when I would talk to Sharon Bracey would tell me that black women are out here twerking and being whores. But then I would tell him that women like Sophie Rain are the #1 earners on OnlyFans. I would tell him that women like Lily Blue, or is that her name? The girl that let 100 niggas run a train on her in one weekend. She was a British white woman, right? When you go to the pillars of the corn industry, they are white women, right? Even I just mentioned, you go look at Playboy. Go look at the Playboy magazine. Go look at Hugh Hefner and the women he kept around. White women, including Melania Trump. That's right. Never had Michelle Obama out there with her titties out. And I'm just saying, the facts are the facts, right? The fact is this. If you go to Vegas right now and look at most of the girls that's selling coochie, most of them will be predominantly non-melanated women. women who look more like Officer Tatum's wife than my wife. I'm just throwing out facts, okay? This is a fact. OG Patrice said that Officer Tatum failed at football, that Officer Tatum dreams of going to the NFL faded away because he was trash. She also said that Officer Tatum was a police officer in Tucson, which I believe is in Arizona, and he was a mediocre police officer at best, which is why, well, we don't know why he was fired, but we can only assume because he was a trash officer, and we are curious about his police record. I'm not. I'm no more curious about his police record, and you're gonna like this, OG Patrice. I'm no more interested in his police record than I am interested in fucking Nathan Daly police record. Remember him? Remember you was getting to it with him? Remember he was saying that, oh yeah, you know what, man, you know, a lot of black kids do be dying to police violence, but it be the black kids' fault, right? And then we found out that he was actually fucking a fucking immigrant who don't even like black people. Child.
White women didn't have good bodies. They weren't.
Hold on.
You a sellout. You get clowned. They talk bad about you. Every name in the book. You want to be white, whatever.
And let me celebrate my brother, No Chaser, for his $5. We need at least $45 more to the Cash App. But let's celebrate my brother right now with the anti-drop.
That nigga's a goddamn $5 boot right now. $5 boot. $5 boot.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
All right, let's keep going.
Whatever the case may be. So, and that white women didn't have good bodies. They didn't have no rhythm, and you can't bring them home. That was that was stigmatized in a lot of young black men growing up. It was stigmatized in me growing up. Got to college, found out that those things were in large part a myth. But the biggest thing in the most...
Who are you around that's stigmatizing that white women don't have bodies and white women aren't beautiful women? You know, when I was a young man, there was a movie called The Mask. It featured a white woman and a white man as its two leads. The white man was a up-and-coming comedian who had a TV show with a whole bunch of other black comedians. He went by the name of Jim Carrey. And it was also a young lady who was an up-and-coming model who had just broke off into acting by the name of Cameron Diaz. Any man with eyes, straight, gay, bi, it don't matter. We all knew that Cameron Diaz was fine. Period. You can say, well, all the white women back in the day had no bodies. Have you ever saw a photo of Marilyn Monroe? Have you? Let's not lie, right? Even let's take it back, right, to American Pie. What's the girl name? Elizabeth Shannon? You gonna say that she wasn't fucking Shannon Elizabeth? You wanna say she wasn't fucking gorgeous? Her body wasn't fire? Don't get me started on the automatic one, the Megan Fox of the world. Automatic baddie. Right? Nobody denies it. No, so listen, nobody was telling you that all white women are ugly and no white women had nice bodies and no white women had rhythm. We literally had a movie, I think it's called Save the Last Dance. There's a white man dancing with a black man dancing with a white woman. Yeah, Julia Stiles. That was everywhere. White women can dance, black women can dance, Spanish women can dance. You gonna try to tell me that Selena can't dance because she's not Beyonce? No, she can dance too. J-Lo can dance. We grew up watching these people as young men. Another depiction of a non-black woman. When I was watching Wild Wild West, the woman in that movie is Selma Hayek. Oh my fucking God. I don't even got to talk about Selma Hayek. From Dusk to Dawn speaks for herself. It speaks for herself. So we are already aware that there's other women that are beautiful. We don't have to down black women to uplift those women. That's your problem, right? The title of your video, why black men choose white women, that should have been the end of it. But you had to say over black women. That's the problem. It wasn't over Mexican women, over Korean women, just over black women. Okay, got it.
Crucial point that I'm trying to make here is that when I got to college, I started seeing things that I never thought of before. My understanding of the world started changing. It sounds funny because I never heard of sushi before I went to college. I didn't know what sushi was. Somebody mentioned it to me. I'm like, what's sushi? I never heard of that.
Close the door. You never heard of sushi? So a white woman introduced you to sushi? You grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and you never heard of sushi ever. Until you got with the white woman. I want y'all to hear how ridiculous Officer Tatum is. How many lies he can tell. And I hope that D.L. Hughley is watching this to further expose you.
Thought of before. My understanding of the world started changing. It sounds funny because I never heard of sushi before I went to college. I didn't know what sushi was. Somebody mentioned it to me. I'm like, what's sushi? I never heard of that. I never knew anybody that went on a hike before. Never heard of hiking as much. It wasn't something that.
Are you insinuating that hiking is a white person thing? First of all, let's address all of this. Again, I went to Central Michigan University, which is a PWI. Are you trying to insinuate I went to college and I saw white women and I saw shit like I never seen it before. I never heard of sushi before. I never heard of a hike before. You never been on a walk before, bro? You never, yo, grandma, you never heard of fucking Harriet Tubman walking from the north back to the south and south back to the north? You never heard of that? You never heard of that? Hey, Trey. Florida is surrounded by water, and he's never heard of sushi. What a fucking clown. Absolutely. And he grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. I've never been to Texas. Do y'all eat sushi in Texas? I gotta hit up Drip. I gotta hit up Queen Sheba. Do they eat sushi in Texas? I feel like they eat sushi everywhere. My wife loved that shit. The point being is this, though. At the end of the day, he's a raccoon. He's trying to attribute things like hiking and sushi and good health to white culture. And he's contributing absentee fatherhood to black culture. And it's so fucking racist, bro. IB Wody said, bro, it's sushi spots all out here in Texas. Shout out to my nigga IB Wody. Shout out to my Texas niggas. All right. Let me switch my other camera back. Let's get it.
Black people never did. From my perspective. There's a lot of other things I never thought of before. Organic food. Never heard of organic food growing up. Nobody ever ate organic food. I remember going to the grocery store, and the rare times I saw organic food, I thought something was wrong with it. I thought it was the abnormal food. I thought the normal food was the stuff that don't have the labels on it, and then the stuff that said organic was some kind of weird food, some kind of stuff that got hormones in it or something crazy. That's why they charge more for it.
What does this have to do with black men choosing white women over black women? Organic food, walking, hiking, sushi. I never knew this until I met the white woman. Because I want y'all to understand the kind of person that is defending the little boys that allegedly may have killed Nolan Wells. This is a person who has an infatuation with the white vagina. This is a person that has an infatuation with the white jaw. The white jaw and the white vagina has a chokehold on him. Quite literally. Quite literally, unfortunately. And he has no Sophie Rain. I'm trying not to go dark, but I think I'm gonna have to show that nigga wife on camera soon. It is what it is. Fuck this motherfucker.
That's what life was like for me. That's what reality was. And I got to college and I started being introduced to these different aspects of life, different avenues of life that I didn't know about. And so therefore,
you start getting white coochie because you didn't have white coochie and it wasn't accessible to you before. Right? I'm trying hard not to dox you to see how lying you are, to see if you went to a white high school, et cetera, because I feel like you're lying. You have the work and build of a fucking black man who been, dining in the finest of white coochies since grade school, nigga. But if you want me to believe that you just started tapping into your first Christina Aguilera when you got to college, you was still a child, basically, boy. And of course, I say this all the time. Once white girls go to college, it's over. They all so Sophie Rains. Only difference is that she getting LeBron money checks. Nigga, she getting LeBron James checks for it. But they all doing the same thing. Gobbling nuts, choking, eyes coming out the budge out their fucking head, and doing all of this while at the same time later on they gonna sell their virtue to a man and he gonna fall for it. Every single time the white woman get off with, you know what? Let me keep going.
My mindset towards dating and women started changing. Because now I realize, I really like sushi. I think hiking is a great idea. I love hiking. I love exercise. Organic food. Obviously.
You can't hike with a black woman. You can't eat sushi with a black woman. You can't go to the grocery store like Whole Foods and get some organic foods with a black woman. All of this must be done with a white woman.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Okay.
Actually, it's better for you. I really want to eat organic. So then the funny thing is that now when your dating pool starts to be evaluated, now white women become more of the prototype for what I wanted. And I'm not saying it's every white woman is like that, every black woman is not like that. What I'm saying is that that's kind of happens to you when you go to college based on a demographic and or experiencing and exposure to different realities. So with that being said, that's what I started seeing. And I started realizing that single parent homes weren't normal. I started realizing that not knowing your dad ain't normal. And
it's also not synonymous with just black women. That's what it's not, right? It's not also synonymous with just black women. As a matter of fact, an alarming number of white women are actually living without their fathers. How do we know this, Darrel? Well, let's begin with the divorce rates. Then we can go into the incarceration rates. But my favorite thing that Officer Tatum leaves out when he talks about crime in the black community, he said, well, black people lead in homicide and drug dealing. Do black men and black women lead in sex trafficking? Do they lead in sexual assaults against minors? Those are also crimes. Those are also crimes, Officer Tatum. You have to know that, right? And white men lead in those crimes. So many of them legally can't even be around children not even their own. If you don't believe me, then go look at Tim Tebow, the former NFL superstar, who is campaigning nationally right now against the white males. But let me go back to the content.
Seeing situations and cultural situations where
what's up, Keon? If you look. Trey said you had to go to college to learn about organic. What the fuck? Exactly, bro. What's up, Abi Wody? OG Patrice says, I've also heard that he cried for Charlie Kirk family. What you mean you heard about that? OG Patrice, you didn't see the video of him crying? We're about to pause the fucking show for a second. You didn't see the video of him crying for Charlie Kirk? Because I have that video. The only thing that you need to do is say, show me the video. And I will show you the video proudly of him saying, oh, you know what? I wouldn't cry if my son died, right? Because he has a son with his wife. I wouldn't cry if my son died because I don't want my wife or nobody to see that, you know, I'm crying. I got to be a strong man at all times. All times I got to be a strong man. But when Charlie Kirk got, you know, sent up there to Jesus, he bust out crying online. Like he was in tears.
I was exposed to women who knew how to treat a man because mom and dad was married her whole life. And she knew how to be ladylike.
What?
Knew how to treat a man because mom and dad was married her whole life.
Now, every white woman, mommy and daddy was married the whole life. Mommy and daddy was married their whole lives. And she learned how to treat a man because mommy was so submissive, like all white women are, apparently. Right? We didn't just see Courtney Clement fucking kill her boyfriend in a brutal stabbing. We didn't just see that, right? I mean, we didn't see, what's the young lady who threw her babies, deleted her babies, and then she won that case. Somebody put the name of that white woman in the chat. What's the name of that white woman that deleted her daughter, then won the case, and now she became a lawyer? Man, that was a big case when I was younger. Somebody go ahead and break that down for me. Sandra something. Damn, what's the name of that white woman that deleted her child and then she won the case and then she became, fuck it, I gotta go find it. Casey Anthony. That's her name. But Officer Tatum just said that every white woman knows how to be a wife because she watched her family dynamic of a husband and a father, because all white women are being raised in households where there is a fucking husband. Let's keep
a religious psychosis religion thing that she had going on.
You can be on camera now? You good? She said no. All right, let's come in. Let's keep going.
And I started realizing that single parent homes weren't normal. I started realizing that not knowing your dad ain't normal. And I start seeing situations and cultural situations where I was exposed to women who knew how to treat a man because mom and dad was married her whole life. And she knew how to be ladylike, how to be compassionate, how to be loving, and different things that I think that some cultural dynamics hinder people from being exposed to and experiencing. And so that became attractive.
Are you saying that Black women cannot be nurturing? Are you saying that Black women cannot be soft and feminine? Because Black men failed to be around? Is that what you're saying? Are you raising your daughters, your white daughters, up to be a fucking pick me, Officer Tatum? And don't try to come here and debate me. You couldn't even debate those fucking people on Jubilee. The last thing you want to do is come here and get embarrassed, all for the internet to see. Shout out to Trey and shout out to everybody from the palace who just here watching me go off on Officer Tatum.
Necessity.
Oh, sorry, OG Patrice. You said you didn't see him crying for Charlie Kirk. I got you. Charlie Kirk, Tatum file. Hold on. Nope. Not that one. Tatum, Abba Preach files. Okay. Quick pause for OG Patrice and the Palace. You guys are gonna love this too. So OG Patrice said earlier that she heard that Officer Tatum cried for Charlie Kirk. Okay, we have that footage. Let's go ahead and check it out now. All right, courteous of Abba and Preach. Let's go.
I saw this clip going viral, and it did make me chuckle. It involves Officer Tatum and his opinions on men crying. Let me make sure I know exact. 2 years ago about men crying, he said some interesting things. So why don't we just take a look at that together?
I would say that a lot of women are going to lose attraction for you if you cry in front of them. Weak men are viewed as unattractive. And you can make the argument that crying can be viewed as a weakness.
I think that men should not show all of their emotions to women, because women judge men very harshly on that. I would never cry in front of my wife.
Really?
I just wouldn't.
What if your kid died?
That's a different thing. I mean, I would try not to cry in front of my wife if my kid died. I'm her foundation. I'm her strong point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cry on my own, but if everything is going south, I want my wife to know I'm strong in that situation. I heard a guy say this, is that when my father passes away, which everybody's parent is going to pass away, I'm not going to cry at his funeral. I don't want to cry at his funeral. I want my father to know that I'm strong enough to stand up and have this conversation. I've compartmentalized what has happened.
I'm very angry because you don't get your lick back.
This is a sickness.
This is a sickness. Shout out to Abba and Preach, man. Listen, the nigga directly said if his son died, that's like if somebody asked me like, hey, if Aegon died, would you cry? I'm like, no, bro, I gotta be strong for Michi. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be a real man. If she see me cry, she gonna lose respect if I'm crying over my dead son. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gonna lose respect for me. So I gotta be real strong. And then Charlie Kirk get knocked off, right? And I go to Michi and I'm in fucking tears. Bro, she probably lose so much respect for me, bro. I was surprised when Kirk got knocked off. I wasn't sad about it though. I was more like, man, that nigga Karma done caught up to bro. He been talking crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? Praying minds never catch up to me. But he talking crazy. He influencing shit that's changing people's lives in a real negative way, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with that nigga Trump. And then so now you on Trump's side one day, and then the next day you talking about some Trump was hanging around Epstein. Come on, bro. You know the consequence of that shit. You should have just kept playing ball like a hoe ass nigga. I still think they took that nigga out the game. But there you go, OG Patrice. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to him talking about the white woman. We gotta spark this blizzy real quick, but there y'all go. Him crying over Charlie Kirk. But let's take it back to the beginning. 2017. Why the black man chooses the white woman over the black woman. Brandon Tatum.
I wanted to start over. I wanted to have a life that I didn't have. I wanted to be exposed to things that I didn't have. I wanted to be exposed to family dinners that I didn't have. And the grandma and grandpa been together, mom and daddy been together, everybody in the same family, everybody got the same kids. It becomes appealing to young African-American men who come into college and be exposed to a life that they could not have previously and that they were not exposed to. So now,
you didn't have family dinners until you got with a white woman? You literally said earlier that your parents were divorced, which I did find out, but you said that your father was always around. Did he not make dinner? We know that you live with your mom 24/7. I don't want to dox everybody just yet, but I will if you keep fucking lying, boy. I guarantee your black mother made dinner. Your mother and father were both military veterans, Michi. Do you think that military people don't feed their fucking kids? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that military veterans who understand the nutritional value of being healthy to make a stronger body, which is probably why you became a football player and a police officer, right? But you wasn't being fed, but you was a D1 athlete. Ain't that something? How you become a D1 athlete, but you wasn't being fed? Go ahead and play Candy Birds.
The lies. There you go. This bitch. The lies.
Somebody lying. Somebody lying.
And again, I want to preface that it's more about culture and less about race. And so you get indulged in this culture and you realize that this culture is something that you think is better for you. It's more conducive to your success and your happiness. And then you never go back. You never go back, and that is now the standard. And it typically ends up being more white women. Now, for me, obviously, and most black people I know, that race don't mean anything, but that cultural dynamic does. And what happens is there's a certain group of people primarily fall in that cultural dynamic. And then there's a certain group of people that fall in the previous cultural dynamic. And that stimulates the dating pool and certain young men who decide to date.
Let's go ahead and put the end to this myth right now. I'm gonna put an end to this myth immediately. Can you break down the sex industry? And when I mean the sex industry, I want you to break it down by race. I want you to break down pornography, people who are into porn, people who are doing nude photos, women on OnlyFans, women on Fansly, all of it. I want you to break it down to race. Which group of women are leading the sex industries between black women and white women? Break it down for me.
White women lead the adult entertainment industry in volume and market share, accounting for roughly 65% to 70% of performers and platform creators across traditional pornography, OnlyFans, and Fansly. Black women represent approximately 14% to 18% of total industry creators, closely aligning with broader U.S. demographic distributions. While white women hold the majority of market share and top revenue volume due to sheer numbers, high-earning creators exist across both racial groups.
So in saying that, are you saying that black women are less naked online, et cetera, et cetera? What does that really mean? Because Officer Tatum is saying that all white women are born in two-parent households and meant to be wives, But you're telling me that white women lead the adult entertainment industry in volume 65% to 70% compared to black women 14 to 18%. What does it mean?
Higher overall numbers for white women in adult entertainment are primarily driven by standard population demographics, not inherent moral differences or cultural traits. In the United States, white people make up about 60% of the total population, while black people make up around 136%. Because white women form a much larger portion of the general population, they naturally represent a larger share of almost any industry, including online content creation. Per capita, participation rates across both groups are roughly proportional to their representation in the general population. Claims like those from Officer Tatum reflect generalized social opinions or political rhetoric rather than statistical reality. Family structure, socioeconomic background, and personal career choices vary widely across all racial groups, making broad generalizations about any demographic's lifestyle or values inaccurate.
Even Gemini know you're inaccurate, sir. The white woman is, and more than likely, just like, you know what I'm saying? And listen, some of y'all live with it. Like, what's the little football player dude name, right? Was it Travis Hunter? He got him a little freak leak. Sorry. He got him a little freak leak white woman, and he happy. I'm not against interracial dating. I'm happy for 21 Savage and Lotto. But I don't also see 21 Savage online bashing black women. I don't see him doing that. Let me check my Cash App, see if I got a 50 boy. You know what I'm saying? See if one of y'all surprise me with something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. It's looking scarce over here, man. It's looking scarce. Let's wrap this video up and get out of here, man.
So hopefully I said that. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. So hopefully I was able to articulate it in its totality to get the clear understanding. But that's why I think young black men that people see from the outside end up dating white women more often than we've seen in the past. And you see it more often in young men going off to college at these major universities. Because I can say right now, a lot of my friends that I knew when we were younger would never date outside our race. A lot of my friends are now engaged to and are married to women outside of the race, primarily white women. So not to try to make this a racial thing, but I just...
Cue Dr. Umar.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, bro, most of my friends married to white women now, bro. You feel me? That's how we getting down now, my baby.
Just wanted to kind of open up some people's understanding to the dynamic and give a perspective from my perspective. So, and if you fast forward and you catching at the end, pretty much the bottom line is what I'm saying is that a lot of black men date white women because of cultural dynamics. A lot of it has to do with the structure, the family structure, and other opportunities and exposures that...
How can y'all talk about the family structures for white women when 90%, not my bad, 60 to 70% of the corn industry is white women? So you can't talk about the family structure, but then they still out here throwing coochie around on OnlyFans for $29.99 a month. You gotta pick one. You gotta look at the reality. Did you forget about Girls Gone Wild? They got the Mormon Housewives. They got so many different shows. Babe, you're gonna come on mic, you gotta come over here.
I'm just saying, like, the Mormons had a big old scandal. They were all white women in Utah sleeping with each other's husbands. It got out. It was a big thing, a big scandal in Utah, all over their media and everything. So I don't understand that they're better women. Even they'll tell you that they're women. They're not better women. Women are women across the board. Only women I would say probably that don't do stuff like that at all would probably be like those really religious people, like Iranians, Yemens, Afghan people of that type of Middle Eastern descent. Them too. But what I'm saying is they don't have OnlyFans and stuff. What I'm saying is
Shit.
at a large proportion.
Okay, yeah, okay,
That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
okay.
Like, yeah, they don't have OnlyFans.
Oh, I mean, yeah, at a large proportion for sure. They don't have it at that large proportion, bro. But listen, man. Tatum, I'm going to be covering you every single day moving forward, right? Because I need a niche. That's what they told me, a niche. So I'm going to cover you. You're my niche for now. And I'm going to move on to the next bandit and the next bandit. So the next video that we're going to cover is Officer Tatum and his wife. I have an interview from him and his wife talking about how black women are the problem, right? For those who don't know, this video is titled "Why Black Men Marry White Women." Basically the same title as the last video, only this time it's featuring the wifey. Da 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 da. You know this for. This is to encourage other young black men.
But we don't care.
Oh, come on. You don't care? What you mean? Black
women don't care.
Yeah, black women don't care, but
we don't care. Like,
this is just to expose Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum posed a threat against black women. And I'll give you one black woman that he posed a threat against right now. Christine Wells. Is that her name? Christine Wells, the mother of Nolan Wells. This white woman right here is profiting off the dead body of Nolan Wells right now. Her husband is collecting YouTube checks or spewing misinformation about Carmelo Anthony, Nolan Wells. What's the other young man name? Cyrus something, the dude who got killed by the Asian kid, right? He's making a shit ton of money doing interviews with Stephen A. Smith, right? YouTube has become a fucking cesspool. That's why the other day when Queen Sheba was talking about, Darrel was like, fuck it, I'm done. Sometimes I feel that way, right? Sometimes I feel like YouTube has become a cesspool in the same ways that Instagram has become a cesspool. Instagram used to be a place for people to post photos, right? Try to get your best photography, like get your photography game up and take some quality photos and post them. It was meant to inspire people to take photos with their friends, etc., etc. Now it's a business tool. YouTube is the same. YouTube used to allow us to have genuine conversations. Now we can't even say certain stuff about this man because we gonna get our channels taken. The truth is this, because like I said, tomorrow I'm doing his wife, like I did the video with Anton and his wife. When you start to look back at who the man is and how he grew into this person, Officer Tatum is paid to say the things that he is saying. It's no if, and, or buts about it. He's paid to talk about black people in disparaging ways. And truth be told, he's very bad at it, but it's effective because they put him everywhere. Why was he on Jubilee, right? Jubilee. As much misinformation that we have caught Officer Tatum in, why would you even invite him to your show in the first place? Why not invite Stacey Abrams? Why not invite a black person of intelligence? No, you specifically invited somebody who has an implicit bias and expected them to debate fairly. And when they got smoked, now y'all looking stupid as a corporation. Why not bring him on with somebody from the opposite side who's actually highly intelligent, who can break his points down immediately? It's like, oh my God. You know what? Like I said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to drag this on anymore. I'm about to go and first of all, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to make that trip. I haven't made that trip in a while. And I dread it, low key. But I want to get into the habit of going back so I can get chiseled. Okay. But I'm also looking forward to you guys watching the video tomorrow about Officer Tatum's wife. This is going to give you guys more insight into why Black women like Christine Wells had to combat a Black man about her dead Black son. He won't show no mercy, no empathy, because in his mind, those boys like Warren Hudson, those are the brothers and cousins to the white women that he's in love with. It's no way possible that they can do this. And if they did, he's going to cover it up allegedly. He's going to use his platform allegedly to cover up said crimes. Again, Nancy Grace asked them, did them boys take a polygraph? Yeah, they took a polygraph, something similar to it, a stressor test, something similar, something like that. So no, I mean, I guess. So no. But it's his job to protect them. It's my job just to deliver to y'all who the liars are. He's a liar. He's a scammer. He's a grifter. If you believe him, if you take his word, if you argue his points, then I'm believing that you're either fucking stupid or you're a grifter, a liar, and a scammer as well. On top of that, outside of all of this political shit, rest in peace to Nolan Wells. Like, even while we have this conversation, he is rotten right now. And if his soul or his spirit moved on, I can only imagine what he's thinking. Watching the people that he called his friends betray him. Watching people like Officer Tatum, grown-ass men, come out and condemn him, saying that he might have been drunk, he might have been high. A kid who was on the athletic scholarship, by the way. That being said, I'll see y'all later, man. Peace.